Good morning. Thanks for tuning in to another daily conversation about situations in everyday life. So let's talk about it. So today is Monday. We are back at it. Another week of what we do, whether you're going to work, whether you're at home, whether you're at school, we are all doing what we do. Again, recycling on that Monday. Let's go into the week and kind of start off. I want to challenge us to start off by asking ourselves what was the most challenging thing that we encountered this weekend, right? And one of the most challenging things that I encountered this weekend, of course, was my mom's birthday yesterday and also one of my nieces and nephew's birthdays. So it was a very busy day yesterday. My mom enjoyed her day like she usually does. Of course, it's one without her husband here in the physical, but we showered her with love as usual. And I know she's in good spirits, so that made me feel good. On the other note, we were having our conversations, and lately my mom kind of been going into a lot of history of her, like we're really starting to learn her. And one of the things that I'm realizing in getting to know my mom a little bit more as a woman, more so than a mom. Like, even me as a mom, I talk about certain things with my daughters, but I don't really get into the deep core until like they get a little older, right? So even my older daughters, I talk to them about stuff, but I really don't get deep. I probably will get deep more with my mom or my sisters more than my daughters yet, because they just haven't encountered certain things yet. So as I'm talking with my mom, a topic comes up where I'm just like, that feeling of true love that is shared between a man and a woman, right? I feel like the foundational tools that we needed for, managing a family, raising our children, I feel like those were solid, right? We got those tools given to us like so clear cut that it was our choice whether to take it and carry it on with our children or not, because it was so we knew it like the back of our hand. We can, all of us get together right now where we are reciting the same mantras, just our cores are pretty solid, right? We got those things. When it comes to like that husband and wife, that relationship between a man and a woman, because that's what I think we tend to get caught not understanding. We try to fuse it all in and think that it's all inclusive in the family dynamic, right? The family dynamic is different because we're both committing to an assignment together to partner in this journey of familyhood together, right? So we both have roles that we have to play in that, and we understand that assignment. So when you see a family structure kind of find its way and figures it out, they figured out that part, right? But there's another component to that. And that is the relationship between, there's actually three components, right? So you have the entire family structure. Then you have the component between the mother and child. And then you have the component between the father and child, which is the parent and child in one. And then you have that other component, which is the mother and father, right? The relationship between the husband and the wife. That component, I feel, is challenging, just as challenging as the component of the parent and child, right? Because each parent have to have their own relationship with their children, because a mother can have an amazing relationship with her kids and a father cannot, or a father can have an amazing relationship with his kids and a mother cannot. So those are different components that we have to show up in individually. And then you have that collective component where us as parents together show up with our children, and our children show up, and it's a whole big dynamic, right? But then that little piece, of the man and the woman's union together, the husband and the wife, the partnership. I feel like that one is the one that gets a little tricky. We tend to think that just because we're doing the work in the whole family dynamic, that work leads into the relationship work. And I've come to realize that it does not. Okay? It does not do what it's supposed to do. Okay? Because if you really think about it, if you dive all in and do what you have to do as a mom, it's totally different feeling as diving in and doing what you have to do as a woman to a man, and vice versa. Our love for our kids is unconditional, number one. It's nothing our kids can do to get us to a point where, I'm not talking to them, or I'm not going to do this for them, or there's just it takes a lot for me to feel like I'm going to even pull that string. And I've honestly, none of my kids have done anything that detrimental to make me pull that string. As a partner now, a partner will be a little bit more conditional. You hurt me, I'm pulling back. You make me feel sad, I'm pulling back. You don't give me enough love, I'm pulling back. It's always a conditional thing with our partners, right? It's what you do is what you're going to get. And I kind of got to a place where I'm trying to elevate from there to where I'm focusing on what I'm giving is what I'm going to get, right? Opposed to me watching what the other is doing, I'm going to focus on giving. Now, I'm not going to be stupid and be the one in a situation where I'm giving, and I'm not receiving. Because after a while, you're going to be like, okay, where's the reciprocation here? And if it's not coming, then you got to check that situation, right? That's a given. But if you're both kind of like giving and you're both doing the work, and you may feel like you can feel it, but it's like it's still a little shaky. You're wondering what's going on. You're still a little not sure of the other person. And all of that comes from lack of communication. I feel like the more we communicate with each other is the more our friendship will be developed, and the more we'll understand about each other, because we grow every day. And you better believe that the man and woman that you're with when you first start is going to be someone totally different 10, 20 years into the relationship, right? We're going to grow. But the beauty is, as we're growing with each other, meaning we're conversating through these growth patterns, right? When something hits you and you're kind of in an aha, share with that person. Don't let them just all of a sudden see this new improved you. And it's like, okay, where did this come from? And they don't really understand the dynamic of the shift. That can create a problem. If you now articulate the dynamic of that shift with a person, they might can actually grow with you. They might can actually see it and it be an aha pivoting moment for them. You don't know. But if you keep it in and not share it, it's like, if you don't share it with your partner, who else are you going to share it with? Because this is a new person that they're going to have to deal with, right? This is a whole new dynamic that you're bringing to the table, and you want them to just swallow that pill. That's not really what you want to do in a relationship, because that can really get ugly later. Because if you're just changing and you smelling yourself on a whole nother level, and your partner has no idea of this new improved you, and you stunting on them, and you expecting things from them, and you're not getting it, and you shunning them, and you giving them this nasty attitude, you're not, what you think you trying to get, you're not going to get it that way. So what I've learned is that unconditional love is something that you can't just say you have. You can't just say, oh, I love you. Like, I'm so realizing that is not it, okay? Like, my fiance always says to me, he goes, I know you love me, but how do you show me, right? We sit down and we challenge ourselves with these questions. And I'm the type of person that I realize that my tools that I've gained over the years are not necessarily the tools that, they're not really the tools that nurtures that relationship part, because I didn't really see that a lot. My mom and dad they weren't together 24/7, right? So you didn't really get to see the dynamic of that. I knew that the love was there. I knew that they were committed to each other and they were on this journey together. But as friends, as, that dynamic, we didn't really get to see. And now that I'm in my relationship, I realize, that I'm kind of like following that same pattern where it's like I'm doing what I have to do in the home. I'm taking care of the kids, taking care of the nurturing, taking care of the balance in the home and all the duties of a woman. But it's like I say, I love my husband. He says he loves me. But how am I prioritizing our relationship? How am I prioritizing making sure that I'm showing him that I love him and that my love for him is unconditional and that we are friends till the end, right? How am I nurturing that part, right? Because just getting up, taking care of the house, cooking, cleaning, helping out with the bills and all of that stuff, that's all great and dandy. But when you want to really become friends in a relationship, when you want to really have that genuine connection to the point that when these kids get grown and leave your house, you two are going to be the best of friends out there just cackling and having a good time. How do you develop that over the years? Like, one of the best things I love seeing is an old couple that is just like so in love with each other, so happy with their friendship, so connected that even in their old age, you seeing them playing, laughing around. Like, that is what I strive for. And I think that's what a lot of us strive for, but we don't have the tools. We don't have the tools. Like, a lot of those relationships are no longer for us to witness what it takes to have that and to build that. And I think that's one of the things that I really want to focus on. And I'm actually really taking the time to do the work to develop the ability to be on the journey of that kind of relationship. Like, one of the things me and my fiance, one of our love languages is we love to dance together. And when we dance together, it's a certain energy that fuses between us, that it speaks for us in the silence, in without words, right? With our bodies, with our eyes, with our touch, right? And I think those are all components. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard this guy on on IG Live talking about how we are sometimes in relationships with our representatives. And what he meant by that is, once you figure out what your partner wants, you start to show up like that. And sometimes that is not really who you are in your core. So what you're actually giving out and dishing out is a representative of yourself, right? So your partner doesn't even really know your deepest, darkest secrets, your fantasies, your desires, like your love language, because you're showing up basic. You're showing up in a way that you think that they want, and not really the way that you want and you feel free. He said something that was so profound to me, that love should be liberating, and it should be. It shouldn't be where I have to be conformed when I come around you. I don't really want to be myself because I know that you don't like that part of me. If that's a part of you that is not something that you even desire to change, and your partner, it is something that they can't stand about you, you might want to rethink that relationship. And that's why I always said I am not the type of female that's going to stay with a man for kids. A lot of people do that, but I refuse to do that, because when these kids are grown and gone, who am I going to be? All of these years that I've devoted to doing this with you, now I don't have a friend. Now my kids are grown and gone, and I don't have anyone by my side, because we're not connected like that. I'm not wasting 20 years of doing that shit. No. Why would I do that? We can co-parent if that's the case, so that I could spend time finding my best friend, right? If it's not going to be that, guys, I'm telling you, don't waste your time. Because you know what's going to happen? When those kids get older, you're going to find yourself like, we need a divorce, or I don't want to be together anymore, because you just didn't develop that. You didn't take the time to develop that. And if you're already in a current relationship and you know that you guys had that connection when you first started, find a way to build it back. Find a way to reconnect and find a way to prioritize your relationship just as much as you prioritize your bills, you prioritize your job, you prioritize your kids, you prioritize your self-care, you prioritize your education. We got to prioritize our best friends. And that's not our girls or our homeboys. Our best friend is the person that we lay with every night. The person that we said we are making life with, the person that we said that we are going through this journey with of raising these kids together, that should be a priority in our lives. And sometimes we don't make it a priority. We don't. We take all of our anger out on the closest people to us, and sometimes that's our partners. And we don't realize that we're beating each other down. And we have to start to take accountability of that and start to really, really prioritize our relationships. Only if we want to have them later in life. If we don't really care and we really want to just go through this journey and get these kids up out of this house, then okay. But if you genuinely want someone in your life until the day you leave this earth that is going to love you, protect you, hold you, connect with you, share with you, open up with you, if you really want that, you really have to do the work. First of all, find the right person. Don't find a person that is breaking your back or the person that is giving you the best ever. No. Find the person that is doing that, because you are going to want that, right? But also find someone that is your best friend, someone that you can be who you are with. Like, don't be with somebody that, if you a freak and they ain't a freak, y'all might have a problem later in life. Because you're going to want to do some things that they're not going to want to do. And then that's going to only lead you to go and finding it somewhere else, right? If you're a person that is dry as hell and you do not like all of that kind of stuff, find somebody that's dry as hell like you. Because they're out there, someone's out there for everybody. All right? Don't change who you are just to be in a relationship, because it's never going to work. I'm telling you. I promise you. I've seen it over and over. It does not work. It does not work. Okay? So if you want that genuine, like for me, I'm a old school lovesick puppy, okay? I want the love story. I will work my ass off to get it, okay? Meaning if I gotta do the work here and do the work here and I'm gonna do it. It's just like if you put in the work for 30 years to get your pension later in life. You got people that are staying on jobs for 30, 40 years to get their Social Security and all this kind of stuff. They have an end goal, right? So in a relationship, sometimes people stay in the family to raise the kids so that the kids get older and they have all that. There was an end goal. So in a relationship, if you want that connection with your partner to grow old with and play with, where you walking through the kitchen and you just slapping that ass for you real quick and making you feel, hey, and he look at you and say, hey, baby, drop it like it's hot, and you dropping it like it's hot. You want that kind of relationship, that kind of friendship, do the work. Do the work. You want somebody that when you want to break down and be vulnerable with, they're going to be there and not look at you like, get your shit together. Do the work. Do the work. Because I'm telling you, there's nothing like having a companion that knows you in and out and wants to protect that little girl or that little boy in you. Because no one wants that little girl or little boy to die. You want to keep that alive as long as possible. So find someone that allows you to keep that alive as long as possible. And as you go today and you're out there and you're just maneuvering through life, just keep that in mind. If you don't already have it, make sure you're looking for that when you're looking for a relationship. And if you already have it, do the work and don't let it slip away. And continue to be the best version of you.